But look, speaking of denial of these horrific attacks, just last night, former rugby league star Sonny Bill Williams posted this to his social media.
Hostages treated worse than animals and raped, proven to be untrue. Children bound together and burned alive, proven to be untrue. But you know what is true? 8,000 kids have been killed since October the 7th. Unfortunately, since this video was made, it's been over 9,000 children now that have been murdered since October the 7th. Look, it's not that complicated. This ain't a war. This is a genocide.
Evelyn, the irony is that he just parrots figures from Hamas, a terror organisation, which have not been verified in terms of the death toll, as devastating as I know that it would be. Yet he brings doubt over evidence that we've seen now, clear evidence that we've seen of violence against women, children, babies, the elderly. How much more do you think someone like Sonny Bill Williams would need to see to be convinced?
Look, I don't think Sonny Bill Williams likes the truth to get in the way of a good story. And unfortunately, he's doing these divisive tactics yet again, this virtue signalling that only brings upon division. And I just really, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It's like, well, are Palestinians more valuable than Israeli children? Like, why are we doing this tit for tat? It's not blue team versus red team. There should be a reverence for all life. And I'm getting a bit tired of celebrities thinking that they know better than the average Australian, and these celebrities who try to use their celebrity status to push things onto the public, whether that be true or not. But, I think we really do need to be focused on reverence of life. I think that regardless of what side of the border that you're on, I think denying reality is not going to do anybody any good, and it only loses sympathy. And I don't mind people respectfully voicing their opinions on what's going on in the war, as long as they're happy if I respectfully voice my opinion of them. But I'm going to be gracious because footy players have been knocked in the head quite a fair bit. So maybe we should, be kind when they do things that are a little bit cringeworthy.
He also had a boxing career, so he had even more knocks to the head. But I think you're being far too generous there. But let's move on to some other big international news. And the US state of Maine has booted Trump off the 2024 primary ballot, following in the footsteps of Colorado. Now, this is related to a clause in the Constitution which refers to officials engaging in insurrections. James, we had a feeling there would be more states to follow Colorado and remove Trump from the ballot, but it is still shocking to when it happens, isn't it?
It's incredible. How do you remove him from the ballot for insurrection when he's never been charged with insurrection, much less convicted of insurrection? And what kind of an insurrection was it? I mean, there was no plan, there were no weapons, and the supposed leader of the insurrection was telling people to make their voices heard peacefully. So this is clearly political. And if the Democrats think that they are going to unite the country doing this, much less establish credibility, all this speaks to is the fact that they know they have a president who does not have majority support and who does not have a chance in hell of being re-elected. And they're scared stiff of Trump being re-elected, not just because he'll undo their agenda, but they're afraid that Trump will do to them what they are doing to him. And they're running scared and determined not to beat him at the ballot. They're going to make sure he doesn't even make the ballot if they have their way.
Evelyn, I've got to say, these sorts of stunts only seem to help Trump in the long run. How do you see all this playing out for him?
Yeah, look, nothing screams protecting democracy by ensuring that the people don't have a choice. And like James said, the only reason they would do this is if they thought that they were going to lose and he was going to win. If they weren't threatened by the people voting for him, they would not remove it. But look, every tyranny operates under the guise of telling people that they're being protected from their own choices. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Like you mentioned, I think it's only going to strengthen the Trump campaign leading up to the election. And as Trump only just said in this last week, the swamp stinks. And he's proved that now. He's going to prove it again. And I think, like you said, there are going to be lots of states that follow, but it's going to be the nail in the coffin. And I think that it's going to make the Republican Party stronger. And I think people are just going to have enough of people trying to control their vote. And they're probably likely going to vote for him just to show them that they can't be controlled.
Well, Trump's lawyers are certainly laughing all the way to the bank here. Evelyn, Ray and James Macpherson, thank you so much for your time tonight.